Okay, gents, I have put together a banger video. The science of getting girls, exclusivity, what it is, why it's so effective, and how you can use it to get all the sweetness that you want. Let's crack into it. Now, in order to understand this, you need to understand something called mate choice copying. This comes from evolutionary psychology. Basically, as a man, it is easy for you to ascertain whether or not you would like to reproduce with a young lady by just literally looking at her, finding her physically attractive, and saying, I would like that. Now, on the opposite side, for women, it is much harder for them to ascertain whether or not they should reproduce with you. The character traits that they care about take longer, right? Is he courageous? Is he brave? Is he dominant? Is he resourceful? Is he smart? Is he safe to be around? Will he protect me? All of these questions take longer for them to figure out. Like, if I'm alone with this guy, will he not kill me, or unlife me? In addition, it is a bigger risk for them. So in order to overcome this, women use mate choice copying, AKA pre-selection. And basically, if other women want to boink you and are interested in you, then it's a good sign that you're worth reproducing. So think about a guy who has so many options, who's pre-selected, who's mate choice copied, who basically has so many options. In fact, there are so many women trying to get on him that he doesn't even have any cum left in him. Imagine how that guy behaves. Does he text back immediately? Does he bend over backwards to try to appease her? Does he even take the conversation seriously at all? The answer, clearly not. The guy who's pre-selected doesn't behave that way. Now, let's talk about this exclusivity, the guy that's hard to obtain. Let's talk about how you can implement this, and let's chat about some of the downsides and some of the risks and some of the pitfalls I see when guys use this. Okay, now there are a bunch of different ways to try to leverage this. So I want to cover some of the most common ways that you can implement the fact that women prefer men that are pre-selected, and if you behave like a man that is pre-selected, you're attractive and AKA pre-selected. So I want to talk to you about some of the ways to leverage this in your way of being, when you're out, when you're interacting with the opposite gender. Okay, first is being a challenge, like not being won over so easily. So that's the first one, is being a challenge, not being won over so quickly, so easily. Again, think about a guy that has so many options, he doesn't have anything left in his body, and that guy would be more of a challenge. And I'm going to check my notes because I put this down. Number two, another way to view this is being interested but not sold. So it's similar to being a challenge, but spelling it out a little bit more. Like, you see her, you think she's attractive, you walk over, you're like, you have this vibe of like, I like what I see. I don't know if I'm interested or not. Again, that's going to mimic a guy that is pre-selected. So you're interested, but you're not sold on it yet. Number three, playful teasing and banter. Again, think about being a guy where you have so many women interested in you that you don't have anything left in your body. You're going to be joking around. You're going to be playing. You're going to be teasing. You're not going to be taking anything too seriously. So the third way to kind of implement this and get this into your way of being so that you're more naturally attractive is to do some playful teasing and bantering. Number four, and this is like, in addition, another way to think about it, which is keeping everything like light and easy, like playful. Like, it wouldn't be a big deal. Like, if you're a guy that has a tremendous amount of options, you're not going to have this heaviness about you. It's not going to be such a huge deal. Like, you're going to be like pretty light and pretty easy. It's not that big of a deal. And I'll cover kind of, how to pull this out, because I understand if you're like, yo, dude, I don't really have anything going for me right now. It's like, cool story, bro. Like, I feel heavy about it. I get it. But right now in these points, I'm just trying to cover some of the ways that you can kind of implement this way of being a guy that's already pre-chosen. Okay. And then this is more of a tactical one, but the fifth one is like, if you're a guy with a lot of options, you're probably not making time initially to meet one-on-one. Like, most of your invitations to women and most of the ways that they meet you are probably in more of a group setting. I know me, when I was, really actively dating a lot, I would put together little things that I'm already doing and invite girls that are interested to that. Sure, once you have one that you like, you might make time to meet with them one-on-one, but like a guy that has so many options, he's not making time to meet with a specific girl one-on-one unless they've already been hanging out. So the fifth one is more tactical as far as like, hey, not just meeting one-on-one, putting together something, happy hour, run club, salsa night, something that you would like naturally like to do, and inviting girls that you meet to that. Because again, if you're a guy that has a lot of options, you're not just making time willy-nilly for any old girl, because you don't have anything left in your body because you're in such demand. Now, let's cover some of the downsides and some of the difficulties in implementing this. Okay, so let's chat about the downsides of exclusivity, being a guy that's basically pre-selected, behaving more like that, because that makes you much, much more attractive. So there are three kind of basic downsides here. The first, I'm just going to be honest about the biggest mistake, is that guys just kill this. Like, they're not a challenge at all. They're so easy to get, and they just absolutely kill the attraction. And then the guy's like, well, I should just be able to like be me. Like, why do I have to do it any other way? Like, I should just be able to be me and have it land. And my point is like, yeah, in a perfect world, you're a guy that's already pre-selected with a tremendous amount of women crawling all over him. Like, that's what I want for guys, to be able to have those options. So a guy will basically be like, well, I shouldn't have to do this. I should just be able to be direct. And I'm like, okay, but like the guys that have a lot of options, that are mate choice copy, that are pre-selected, don't behave this way. Why shouldn't I have to behave that way? And I'm like, yeah, but that would be the best version of you. Like, the version of you that has a lot of options, that is tremendously confident, like that would be the best version of you. So the first mistake I see that guys make is like, they don't want to do it. They're like, no, I don't. I just want to be able to like tell her exactly what I think and exactly what I want, and like let that be it. And they don't want to have to do the more kind of like bigger, more expansive version of themselves type of behavior. Okay, so that's the first biggest thing, is that guys just don't even want to do it. And then they're like, I should just be able to be me. But it's like, yo, dude, we're just trying to like have you be the best version of you, because the best version of you has a lot of options. Okay, number two. So this is the other downside I see, is like it can lead to miscalibration. So a guy will basically be trying to lean more into those behaviors, and it'll kind of create this like Frankenstein-esque type of thing, because like the guy's behaviors don't make sense in one situation versus another, right? So like what I mean by this is, the guy will do these behaviors that like make him look really like high value pre-selected, and then not, and then high, and then it's like it creates this like weird energetic thing. So that's the second big thing. The second, kind of like downside I see here is guys will basically be miscalibrated. And what you want to do in that scenario is like, you don't need to go full tilt with it, being like, I'm going to be the absolute alpha who has nothing left in his body. It's like, okay, when you're interacting with a girl, just ask yourself kind of like, what would a really needy guy do here? And then just kind of like go the opposite way. Another way to say that is like, be yourself, and then think kind of like, okay, a guy who had a lot of options, like how would he behave here? And like directionally lean in that way. You don't have to like full tilt hit it and just try to like behave like a guy that has 1,000 women waiting for him at home when he really is a guy who hasn't been laid in 2 years. So I'm just saying, like, directionally, like, lean in that direction. And the easiest way I've seen to make that land is like, just imagine what a really needy guy would do and then just kind of go the opposite way. Or imagine a guy that has more options and then lean in that direction. So either way, kind of like directionally, you're leaning in that direction. And then the third point here, because I took notes because I'm trying to get better at this. Okay, your entire game can't be based on how she can't get you. Because if you're like, no, I'm not interested, I'm like elusive, I'm elusive, and then you go to make a move, it's like, whoa, I thought you were elusive. Like, what's going on here? So the third mistake I see here is basically overdoing it. Like being so exclusive and like so many options that like you don't really, so many options that you push away too much. Like you push the girl away by acting so disinterested and like, I've got so many options, I'm so exclusive, and then you try to flip it and like, move towards the girl. So you just need to sprinkle it in. It doesn't need to be like the center of you is like getting in touch with that masculine part of you and having that be the thing that drives the attraction. This is just like a roadmap of like leaning more into the type of guy that's pre-selected, that's more of a challenge because it indicates that he has a lot of value. So that's the third biggest mistake. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's the end of the night. I was like in the middle of shooting this and I completely lost my train of thought. So it happens, you know what I mean? Like no one's perfect. So I'm gonna wrap this video because I can't remember what else I was supposed to talk about. I love you guys. I hope this helped. Give me a subscribe due to this poor ending, and I'll see you in the next one.